All right, you all. I hope that you have had a phenomenal week. I'm excited to be back here once again with Counselor T. We are going to have some tea with Counselor T in just a few minutes. I hope that you've been enjoying our conversation. I think our conversation is needed. I think our conversation that she and I have been having over these last few days, um, I think not only are they needed, but they are necessary for the body. I believe that as we move forward in the body of Christ, it is our responsibility to take dominion, to take control, and to help pull people back into a place of safety. And I know that in time past, we may have said, well, people gonna do what they want to do. Let them do it. And we know that to be true. So, but let's at least provide some information. All right, let's provide some information. So I'm Apostle Q from Kingdom Living Ministries, and I come to you with a heart to help people. One of the visions from our ministry, it is to help restore mankind back to God. And I believe that we are going to do just that through many branches from our ministries, from the ministries that we have here in this county, and as well as abroad as God sees fit. So, with that, we're going to start out again, laying a foundation, talking about mental health, the discovery of it, and when it comes to the Black church, the culture that we have, the communication. Sometimes we don't want to talk about it, but I want us to start discussing. So just sit back, relax. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. We want to answer your questions. If you don't get a chance to answer, excuse me, if you don't get a chance to ask the questions immediately, send us a message later, and we'll make sure that we answer them or we will respond. All right. Don't be afraid of counseling. Don't be afraid, of therapy. It's good for all of us. All right. So let's get started. Hello, hello, hello. We are back. We are back with you. What's going on? What's going on,
Hey,
young lady?
it's Tuesday, and no, it's not. It's Wednesday.
It's
Whew.
Wednesday.
See, that's what happens. That's
So
what
you
happens.
take it back.
Get caught up doing. But I am well. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for
Good.
asking.
Good.
It's always good to sit and talk with you and, stranger to this platform that we just burst. We just say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to make this thing happen, right? So you're
Yeah.
not a stranger to the platform. You're not a stranger to our ministry. But for those who are just now tuning in, let's just go ahead and talk. Who is T?
T is God's daughter, and T is Monty,
Mm-hmm.
the mother of two, grandmother of six,
All
and
right.
mother of one. T is a community mental health counselor, a pastoral counselor, and T is a person who loves to enjoy traveling and seeing what the world has to offer.
Now I believe that part. Because there's some jokes that floats around here at the church. We don't know if you're out of the country or if you're across the county line. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
today I am hailing from the snow in upstate New York. So,
can you please send some down to North Carolina?
no, no,
You ain't
no.
here. You're not
Mm-mm.
here.
Snow doesn't know how to leave. So
It
no.
doesn't. It doesn't matter. You're not even here. I want some snow. Listen, as long as I still got my power, I got food in the house, I'm cool. Let it snow. I don't have any intentions to get out on that road to prove anything to anybody that I know how to drive in the snow. I don't. I don't want to learn how to drive in the snow. I just want to chill. I just want to go out there every now and then, make a snowman, get out there, make do my little angels,
Yeah.
and go back in the house. You know.
Yeah, you know, snow in North Carolina is a state of emergency, so nobody wants that but you.
I know everything be shut down.
Everything.
The sniff of snow, the school shut down, everybody's
Yes,
jobs, everybody looking, and yeah, I get it.
yes, yes.
I
So,
get it.
but you know, with snow
Mhm.
in this, and I could never remember the specific name of the mental health disorder, but it's like you don't get enough sun. So because, like they say, Rochester has like three days in the summer. If you don't catch them 3 days in the summer,
Right,
you
right,
got
right.
it. So people, while we joke about it, and you want snow in North Carolina, people that get the snow all the time, they it really does something to the psyche, the
Right,
cold and the lack of sunshine, and the
right,
times being confined and having to put on a lot of clothes. You're kind of isolated because in the wintertime people don't do a lot of traveling.
right, right,
So so it's a lot that comes with
right.
that whole thing. Yeah.
I think what is it, depression? I think like Seattle, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of cases of depression because
Mm-hmm.
of the lack of sunlight. So you're
Yep.
right. We really do need that sun. It does do something to us, and um, I still want some. Just put it in a Ziploc bag, okay? Just bring it home and
Uh-huh.
whatever it is, let it be what it is. All right,
Okay. Okay.
all
Yeah.
right, all
I
right.
get
You do what now?
I get right on that.
I appreciate it. I do. I want some snow so bad, man. I love snow. I really do. Winter is my favorite time of the year. It really is. It is. I
Wow.
don't like to sweat. I mean, I love the water,
Mhm,
but I don't like to sweat. And
mhm,
too much sun causes me to sweat. So I feel like, and plus, I feel like in the winter you can dress nice. There's a lot of nice clothes that you can wear in the winter and fall and the winter, um, and you can always put clothes on, but you can't take a whole lot of stuff off. I mean, you can, but I would advise everybody. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Do what you want to do, but I would advise everybody to take off their clothes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why I'm for winter. So,
yeah. And I'm the exact opposite. I try to travel to
mhm.
places where I don't have to wear a lot of clothes, and I be by the water, and I sit in the sun, and just I feel it. I feel it. Feel it.
I believe it for somebody who got what almost 100 bathing suits. I can tell you like the sun. I got one, and I barely hit the pool. I had to be forced to go to the pool this summer a lot of times. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. And it's interesting what comes along with all of that, because I can honestly say, like, full disclosure, the other day, yesterday, uh, a 4-day, 3-night trip to
uh,
Jamaica came out on my travel agent
uh,
Facebook page. And I started thinking, like, okay, I could go. Okay, I got to do this in May. Shout out to Unrolled Conference in Rochester, New York, May 17th.
woohoo! Now,
Like,
now, who's the speaker? Who's the speaker today? Who's the
I
speaker?
think it's AB oh yeah, Apostle Cortana Barnett. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would be me. That's me. Okay, I'm sorry. That's me now.
So, and I'm like, okay, May is the conference, and June I got a vacation. July I could hit August. I could go to Jamaica. And I could chill, and the wheels just start turning. And I started thinking about the water and the beach and hanging out with my friends in Jamaica. And it's like, You need a dishwasher. You need a door.
So,
Right, right. I moved from just free will doing whatever I want to do to
right,
adulting. And it's like, well, I guess I won't go to Jamaica. But it's like one of the ladies at work told me, she said, you're a travel junkie. And people think about being addicted to drugs and
mhm,
alcohol, food and sex. But I'm telling you, when somebody starts talking about traveling,
right,
it's like I just go into this hyper mode, like,
right,
okay, how can I make it happen? How can I
right,
make it happen?
right,
And we it's like sin. We think about these big sins, but it's the small foxes that
right.
do damage.
Yes.
And so trip to Jamaica, or the responsibility and doing what I know God has called me to do. And that requires some sacrifice right now. So
Well, let's go with that Jamaica. Now, how many days and nights? I'm waiting. I'm trying to write it down.
it's 4 days and
Uh-huh.
3 at a four. You can go to a 4-star all-inclusive resort, or you can pay an extra $100 and go to a 5-star all-inclusive resort.
Can you tell the viewers how much that is? I mean, because I'm just saying, we're talking about mental health. And to be honest, many of us need a break. You know,
Yes.
sometimes we go on these quick vacations and we'll like maybe go to the mountains for a day. It's not a vacation, you
Hmm.
know, or go to the beach for the weekend, but then we take our kids. That's not a vacation. Or you
Right.
may go, you know what I'm saying? You may just do something simple, something quick, just to get away. It may
Hmm.
be healthy at that moment, but you cannot continue to live your life off of those tiny pieces of segregation from the
Yeah.
world, if that's safe to say. You
Yeah.
know, you have to plan, and I'm okay with doing stuff by myself. I
Mhm.
really am. I can go by myself and let you all know where I'm at and stuff, and give you a code word and be cool with it. You know, so talk to the people about how do you know when it's time to take a vacation. And we know that we do have to save, okay? Or it's good stewardship to save, or just utilize your monies in a certain way. But how do you save for that particular vacation so that mentally you are refreshed?
Well, there are the travel agency that I'm connected with.
Uh-huh.
You can make monthly payment. I am launching a travel agency called Hattie's Hub, and
Okay.
Hattie was my mom's name.
Okay.
And um I hear people, oh, I'm going to Miami, or I'm taking the kids to Disney, or the main one I hear is, I can't afford to go.
Right.
Yes, you can, because I don't have anything against people getting weave. I don't have anything against the fellas getting the implants, the hair
Right.
implant. I
Right.
do you.
Right.
But
Right.
what it costs you to go to Miami, you
Hmm.
can go to a Caribbean island. You
Right.
can, and go to an all-inclusive resort
Hmm.
where once you show up, you just
Hmm.
show up. If you want to tip, you
Right.
can tip, but your food and everything is included.
Right.
So, and you get connected to travel agency
Okay.
where you can make monthly payment.
Right.
And like, you can start making monthly payments 2 3 years in advance.
Hmm.
But you talked about how do you know it's time.
Right.
I'll go back to a time when I was managing a boys group, and I was sitting at my desk, and it was like I just could not get my thoughts together.
Hmm.
And it really sounded like there were several conversations going on in my head.
Uh-huh.
So I called my sister. Told her, I said, something wrong. It's a lot. It's a lot. I said, I'm going home. So I went home. I didn't turn on the television. I didn't turn on the TV. I just went home and I went to my room. And
Right.
my mom called and she was like, well, what are you doing? I said, nothing. Said, were you watching TV? I said, no. Said, you listening to music? I said, no. She said, you reading a book? I said, no. She said, okay, bye. So
Mhm.
then my sister calls and she said, your mama just called me and told me you over there losing your mind because you ain't doing nothing.
That's funny.
Now, for my mother,
Yeah.
South and worked, the concept of doing nothing
Right.
equated with losing your mind because you
Right.
know stuff that has to be done, and no matter what, you
Right.
have to push to get it done.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
in that moment, I didn't have to push. I
Right.
didn't know what would have happened if I had tried to go and go. But
Hmm.
it, I needed silence, and I just needed to be still.
Right.
And, and you know that takes us back to the story of Mary and Martha when after the Lazarus story, Martha was doing and doing and doing. Mary Mary was like, yeah, well, you got that. I'm gonna sit right here because Jesus came through, and we don't get Jesus every day, so
Right.
I'm gonna sit here and glean from Jesus. And Martha was like, well, Jesus, can you tell her to get up and help me? I got
Right.
to. And Jesus was like, no, no, Mary has chosen the good thing. Like, so sometimes in order to get ourselves back on track, we need to get off the track and just
Right.
and be still. And sometimes we can't get that at home. We can't get our time. We go somewhere where we sit
When I'm losing you some.
down
Hey, go ahead. Go ahead.
so that we can just sit. So yeah. So our body will let us know that our
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. But you know what? I want us to be able to help people to know, like I said, the size our body will let us know. What about those people who are stubborn, who I can't get off from work because that's all I know to do. If I
Mhm.
don't work, then I don't eat. Um, my kids need me, my spouse needs me, my mom, my dad needs me. How do you encourage them to take a break?
On the seventh day, God rested.
Yeah.
So if God can rest, you can. But but like you
Excuse me.
you called it stubborn,
Uh huh.
and it's kind of like a God complex, and and it's a need. You're codependent. Like if if you don't do it, then it won't get done. But how do you know it won't
Right.
get done if you don't stop doing it?
Right.
Because
It's true.
if we keep doing it, hypertension,
Yep.
stroke, heart attack, mental breakdown,
Yeah.
So right my is to just small steps, baby steps.
Hmm.
Oh, you don't cook the meal they won't eat.
Hmm.
How about instead of cooking, maybe one day you do pizza. You know, they got a, I think it's Little Caesars. Not throwing a plug for Little Caesars, but Little Caesars,
Right.
proud sponsor of Sister Act. But
They could be though. They
oh,
could be.
okay,
They could
but
be.
you know,
But
you got to
right
get
now,
it there. You know, you got to get it.
call me Little Caesar. Seven zero
Okay,
four 396 1820.
okay. But you know, you pick up a couple of pies, pick up a couple pizza pies, and make some Kool-Aid or whatever, you know. But try take a little step
Right.
towards the independence of those that you believe depend on you,
Right.
and give yourself a break. And I get it. I get it's not, especially for a lot of black women.
Hmm.
You know, we have the if I don't do it, it won't get done complex.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
the if a man don't work, a man don't eat
Right.
complex. If I don't feed this man, somebody else gonna feed him, and I'm gonna lose him.
Right.
Boy, bye.
Right. Right.
But you know, so baby steps.
Right.
You know, start little. If you can't get out of town, if you can't get out of the country, get you a hotel room for a night.
Yes.
Take yourself, go to a movie.
Right.
Let's take little steps.
Right.
But when you notice you're getting headaches regular, or lower back, shoulder, shoulders are neck, back of your neck,
Hmm.
those are stress.
Right.
So pay attention to your body, because your body will give you before it.
Right. Right.
So yeah.
All right. Well, that's good because I feel a little tense right here. Um,
Mhm.
I normally, excuse me, I normally go and get a body massage, if not weekly, every other week.
Mhm.
I used to do it weekly, ritually. Then I stopped, but then I had to recently go back to it. And for me, even though it's only an hour, it helps me to relax and refuel
Mhm.
just that 1 hour. And that's why it's necessary that for me that I do it because I don't like being cranky. I don't like snapping, but my body will tell on me because my body is programmed to run until the manufacturer, the
Mhm.
CEO of the manufacturer decides, okay, I need to shut this machine down, you know. Um, and so what we don't want is we don't want certain things to take place in our lives or attach to our bodies because we're not understanding or recognizing the triggers of stress. You know, not all stress is bad stress, you know, but too much stress, just like too much of anything, is not good for you. So help me when it comes to the church as leaders, because I really want you to put something together for us women, pastors. You know, maybe I can reach out to a couple of folks, you know, and
Mhm.
say,
Mhm.
hey, ladies, you know, let's go away. You know, um,
Yeah.
let the congregation take care of themselves,
Mhm.
and let's just go away just to relax. You know, because it is important. We say we're going to do it every year, and the next thing you know, the next year comes, and we're like, oh, I said I was going to go to Hawaii last year, or I said I was going to go to Jamaica last year or the year before. You know, we say what we was going to do, but we don't do it, and then we get mad when those around us are refreshed,
Mm.
revived. You know what I'm saying? They look like, you know, they in their 20s when they're in their 80s, because they have taken care of themselves. So how do we encourage the female leaders? Not, and we do want to talk about everybody in the church, but the leaders, because as a leader, if we don't get what we supposed to get, if we don't get filled, if we don't get replenished, then to be honest, we can be sloppy.
Yep.
We could be sloppy. We could make wrong decisions. So I know you said our body will let us know, but far as the church, how do the church tell their pastor, whether it's a female or male, hey, you need a break? And I'm not talking about during pastor's anniversary.
Mm, mm,
So
mm-hmm.
I'm so sick. No, no, no. We're not talking about that one time a year that people decide to think about their leaders. Give me something. What is ideal? And hopefully you taking notes since you go to my church. I'm just saying, go back and tell the folks put in slack. Hey, that's what we're gonna do for the woman of God. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
what can the church do? All seriousness, what can the church do to ensure that their leaders' mental, our spiritual part has nothing to do with this, the mental part.
Mm-hmm.
So, what can y'all do, or how can you encourage the congregations throughout the land? Um, Help us.
First, the first thing that has to happen
Okay.
is the leader has to make sure not to develop a codependent congregation.
Uh oh.
You you
Change colors. I was gonna wait, but let's pull this in here.
yeah, like it can't be the pastor has to be the counselor, the pastor has to be the janitor, the pastor has to be the accountant, the pastor has to the pastor has to. Mm-mm. God called the pastor the flock,
God called
make
the pastor to do what?
to shepherd the flock.
Uh huh.
God didn't call the pastor to fix when the women in the church have some car issues. God didn't call the pastor to be the mechanic.
Right.
When the if the pastor in the church is single, God didn't call y'all to go clean his house and make sure every Sunday or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday he got a meal to eat. That's not what God called leadership to.
Right.
So you don't if you're not the little g God to your congregation, then your congregation can help you. If you're not insecure that, well, if I'm not here preaching or sitting in this chair while somebody else is preaching,
Mhm.
then I don't have to worry about them taking my church.
Mhm.
First of all, it's not your church.
Right.
Second of all, if they can take it, it wasn't yours and God had a different plan. So
Right.
allow leaders have to allow themselves to be led as much as they lead.
Right.
So when the on and off pastor appreciation day, if somebody comes to a pastor and says, I got this I got we got together and we got this package for you to go away, and we're gonna send you to this it's a resort where you can just go and relax and you can get some treatments, and you can get a massage, you can get a mani, you can get a pedi, you can get a facial, and then we'll see you Monday.
Right.
See you Monday.
Right.
But you have to allow yourself to be
Right.
receptive to that.
Right.
And too many times leaders just get real possessive.
Mhm.
And um and another thing is that sometimes when we're taking care of ourselves, it can be classified as selfish,
Mhm.
but I prefer to call it self-preservation, because if
Right,
I don't preserve me,
right,
I can't be my best self for anybody else.
right, 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 right,
So, pastors have to be open, congregations have to become more dependent on God
right,
than the individual that God sent to you.
right. Listen, I know you telling the truth. I just want to know when y'all gonna put that package together, because I'm just saying, um,
Mm-hmm.
because I ain't afraid to step away. I already done told y'all, y'all ain't gonna see that Range Rover out there. I don't want
Yeah.
nobody calling,
Mm-hmm.
because somebody would know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But I want nobody to be like, "Where's she at? She late." No, because I'm
Yeah.
always here. But me, for me, and this how I've always been. I like to be in this space by myself before service starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, it's good for me spiritually and mentally, to get a head start before service starts. But I'm saying all that to say, if you don't see that car out there by 10, 15, I ain't coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I told y'all got to know how to flow,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe we do. We got to know how to flow and move forward, because it's true. We do need breaks. You know, we have to be able to step to the side to get poured in, and guess what? Other churches are going on the same time that we are preaching. It is okay to watch a person on YouTube or Facebook, or whatever, but it's something about that atmosphere. So as a leader, we do have to be able to feel free. Now, every church can't say that. Every pastor can't say that for whatever reason. But for those who can, we definitely need to take that and take that tip and use it. You gonna
Yeah.
be at church Sunday? You gonna still
No.
be in it?
Mm, I'm
See,
being no.
let me get back to my notes. What my notes said. You told me you're gonna be here 2 days out of the year. Okay. So Jesus. Jesus, I'm just saying. We get started and you get to traveling. I got a sip on my red cup. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's good though. That's for real. That's good. Um, to steal away so that we can be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
More things before we get off the church though. The church as a whole. What do we need to do to help identify mental health crisis? Meaning, how do we discern that this is a mental health issue and not just a spirit? How do we
Well,
teach?
you know what? It really can be both. It really can. But the woman in the church, every church got one. Sometimes she sit in the front row
Mhm,
with a little short dress on.
mhm,
She done dealt with Deacon so and so.
mhm.
She done dealt with brother so and so in the tenor group. Dealt
Right,
with so and so in the altos. Dealt with brother so the spirit. Yes, a church whole.
right,
There's an under why. Same thing with the man.
can you
For
repeat what you just said about her? She's a what?
she's
What's
not just church whole.
right, right,
She, there's some underlying issues. There's something she's trying to feed. There's a thirst. She's thirsty
right,
for, and it's not always attention.
right,
It could be a sex addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Church might like to call it a Jezebel spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with a man. The young lady in the church don't know if she a young lady or a young man. The young man who
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he a young man or a young woman. There are
Right.
underlying issues that cause these
Right.
in the church. We say God hates the sin, but he loves the sinner.
Right.
But we don't want to deal with the sinner.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's true. So
yeah,
true.
yeah.
So
So
true.
so when we see these behaviors, there has to be somebody bold enough to pull that individual to the side and have a conversation. Like,
Right.
how you doing?
Right.
Tell me something about yourself.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be the pastor.
Right.
If a pastor doesn't have a trained individual in their congregation, it's okay to reach out to somebody else. If
Right.
if I don't have a trained individual in my church,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a friend who may have a larger congregation, or I know my friend has a trained person in their congregation, it's okay to say, hey, can I get so and so number? Because it's somebody that I think they might need to talk to.
Right.
And pastor, don't try to handle it yourself. If you know this isn't just not your gift.
Right.
One person does not have all the gifts. I don't care how wonderful you think you are. It doesn't work like that. That's not how God operates.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So we see behavior. We do. Even the person come to church late all the time. What's really good?
Let me document that.
Yeah. Okay. Like, okay, procrastination is real. Why procrastination?
Right.
And do I not feel important enough? Do I not feel like I need to follow through with what I said? Do I not feel that I'm not important enough that I need to be there when I say I'm going to be there? Or do
Right.
I feel that I'm so important that I can make a grand entry?
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. For real. I get
so
that.
people tell on themselves and their children tell on them.
Right. Right.
You got somebody, oh, this little boy, he just so bad. They calling me every day from school. He fighting every day and cussing the teacher out. Where he live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Where you work?
Right.
You you said you got fired. How many times for what?
Right. For fighting, but what my fault?
Yeah, wasn't my fault. They shouldn't have got up in my face.
Exactly.
So there are signs, and I mean not elaborate, you have to be able to look in the DSM-7 or whatever the latest edition is and be able to diagnose. No, it's everyday stuff that you see and it get on your nerves, but you want to play past it.
Right.
No. Mm-mm.
Right.
No.
Right. Right. I get it. I get it. So I think a lot of times leaders don't want to share the information because if they share it, then it will look like they're not doing a good job as a leader.
Right.
Um, I like to, because I used to carry weight like that when I first started ministry. But then over the years, I realized I don't go home with people. And that's why I say I can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. We teach the word, try to live that example, and it's up to the person to digest, you know?
Yeah.
But if a pastor, especially if it's a church that's fairly mid-sized, for example, and say they don't have a trained counselor, they're not going to feel comfortable calling on Apostle Barnett to call on Counselor T, because you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people, they look and they compare. Well, we have this forest going on, and they got, you know what I'm saying? They just now started. So we've been in here, this ministry, for 40 something years, and she just now hit 16 years. We should know better. We should know more. And I think that's the problem with our culture as a church, is that we are expected to know everything. And if you have some years with you, definitely people are expecting your church to be on point. You expecting, not realizing that there's nothing wrong with the church. It's just stuff that's wrong with the people. And as long as we choose to pick and choose who come in to minister, to help, to counsel, or whatever, as long as we pick and choose who come in, we're taking a chance of our church, you know, having issues.
Yeah.
You know, we're taking a chance of leadership, as far as people not really being all they called to be. Because sometimes people can say, well, long stay in church. Long stay in church to do what? Just to have a body in a seat don't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they come and their minds are somewhere else, then what you preached that day didn't help them. And we as leaders have to be sensitive enough and not making somebody shout. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Don't come by because I'm sitting down. Don't come to me and make me shout and think that if I don't shout, that something is wrong, that I'm rebellious, or God is not with me, or I'm out there in the streets. Don't do that, because that's not always true. I may not be wanting to shout right now because my head is hurting, or my feet are hurting, or I
Mm-hmm.
just worked for 12, 13 hours and my body is physically hurting and I've pushed myself. So as a leader has to discern what is going on with every person. And if they can't hit every person, at least have a team. Let's do some check. Let's
Yes.
do some quality checks. When they come in, ushers, good morning, how you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Okay. Ooh, well, okay. It's missionary. How
Yeah.
was it? Was all right. Just give my program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to figure out what's going on with Sister Missionary. Maybe not you, usher number one, but maybe usher number two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, we have to be able, and that's why me personally, I used to love ushering when I was, back in the day when I would just cue on that level, because you could get a feel of people. Sometimes that hug tells the story.
Mm-hmm.
And as a leader, you have to be comfortable with who you are, your service, and the people, to allow people to break if they need a break. Because if
Mm-hmm.
they don't break, then when you come out, you're gonna be what? Treading over hard ground. And it's hard. It's hard. So we need this. We need these type of conversations. We need counselors on deck. We need, I was talking to a lady today. We need social workers. She was talking about even the social work. We need social workers in the church. And when she said it, I never thought about it like that, but I get it. The empowerment center need a social worker. You know, that makes sense. It really makes sense as far as the community involvement, especially if we're really going to be that people, or that person that God has called us to be. All right. Last thing, I know I said it before, but last thing, tell the people what they can look forward to from you if they call you and they need some one on one attention. What does that look like, knowing that you are a member of Kingdom Living Ministries and the Empowerment Center? Tell them, if they go to the church, Apple Pie Baptist by the Riverside in Denver, North Carolina, Tell them what they would get and how it would not be a conflict of any sort.
First and foremost, I have had the privilege of interacting with all kinds of people. So my shock level, I can't even say that I have one anymore. Like I don't recall somebody telling me something and I was shocked by it. Like, ooh,
Right,
clutching my pearls.
right,
No. Human nature,
right,
anything. So there's nothing you can tell me that'll shock me.
right.
I'm not here to tell you what to do. I believe if a person talks long enough,
Mm,
they talk themselves into their solution.
mm,
My greatest gift is the gift of listening.
mm-hmm.
If you're looking for somebody to tell you what to do,
Right,
I'm not one. I'm,
right,
I'm I can't even tell myself what to do.
right,
What I offer, I believe that God speaks to the ears of my heart, and from my mouth the overflow comes. So what I'm sharing with people is what
right,
God has given me. I am merely a vessel. That's it. That's
right.
the bottom line.
I believe.
So you if you're looking for somebody to say, "Oh, honey, it's okay. It's okay,
Right,
baby." I'm not. I'm not.
right,
I'm not for you
right, right.
because if not you, who? And if not now, when?
Exactly, 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 exactly. Do you have any type of how can I say it? Maybe assessments that you could provide to the people just to see if they like just something simple. Or can you provide something for people? Just something showing like, yes, I'm stressed, like your stress level. Like for example, like when I coach people, I have what's called the wheel of life. And the goal is to connect each each part of the pie or the wheel. We know there's no perfect wheel, but I try to tell people if this one part of the pie is inward, closer to zero, then you're gonna have like a warped wheel. That
Hmm.
lets me know that's what your life looks like. But it's not for me to pick at you and be like, oh girl, you need to do better on this end. No, it's for us to work on to bring that number out from zero, bring it out just a little bit so that you can get a little bit of momentum. So my question is, do you have something or can you put something together for people so that when they say, hey, I need to know what stress level I'm at so that I can connect with you so I can get a vacation? Do you have
Okay.
something or can you put something together
I,
for the
not,
people?
I don't have anything, but I will work on putting something together.
Yes.
And I think the reason I don't is because if you get to a place, and sometimes it's the small stuff,
Hmm.
like if your vision is blurred, you're having trouble concentrating, and you're fatigued all the time, it's a very strong possibility you're not drinking enough water.
I'm drinking with a water, but
Right, that part right there. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
well, the
And
ice in it.
it's really that simple. If every day you have a headache,
Mhm.
stop and pay attention to what you're not doing.
Right, right, right.
Just because you close your eyes when you go to sleep, it doesn't mean
Mhm.
resting. Because your eyes might be closed, your body might be still, but you have not turned your mind.
Right, right. Uh,
I
I
have
get.
this thing. what I do on YouTube, you can go to YouTube and you can watch a fireplace burning and crackling,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
or you can watch rain falling, you can watch the ocean, or you can have a black screen and hear all of that.
Right, right,
Because even though we've laid down, we have to learn how to turn our mind off.
right, right. And please remind the people to turn it back on. Turn it back on.
Look, and don't go in there by yourself, because if you get lost, it can be dangerous.
See. Well, listen up. I want you to put something together. Put something together for us. Put something
I,
together to help us to see I need a vacation or
mhm,
I need a day break. What does that look like? Because again, sometimes people who go, who have a lot of stuff on their table um, or on their plate, it's hard to say step away.
mhm,
What can be that point? Oh, when I find myself screaming, okay, I'm gonna go relax in my tub, but I'm not gonna take my phone, just some
mhm.
relaxing music, some candles or whatever. Because I believe even those little things, they do help, but
Yep.
at the same time, we do need to, especially coming off of holidays. You did
Mm.
some segments at church about that, coming from the holidays, your mental health, your wellness, and we have to remember that because guess what's coming up in February? Yeah,
That day.
day. Exactly that day.
Yeah.
So we want the
Yeah.
people to be prepared and okay.
Hmm.
Okay, if you have to spend Valentine's Day by yourself, it's okay. If you choose to send flowers to yourself, there's nothing wrong with you. If you do that, don't be telling people, "Oh, girl, look what he done. He done this for me." When you know you done it for you.
I want everybody under the sound of my voice to hear me when I say this. On February 14th, because see, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Uh huh.
No greater love could
Mm,
anybody ever give me than that. So on that day, there's a movie coming out that I'm going to see.
okay.
And while I'm here, I'm having myself a pinky diamond ring made for my Valentine's Day gift
Okay.
because I love me so
Mm,
much. So, anybody, I give you permission to love yourself enough to celebrate yourself unapologetically, not
yes.
just February 14th,
Yes.
but every day that the Lord
Yes.
has.
I believe that. I believe that. And I think
Mhm.
we're gonna stop right on that because that's good stuff. And I believe that love it will help us in all the other areas that we
Mhm.
may struggle in. So
Yeah.
this has been nice.
Yes, it has. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I love this. I really do. I really enjoy this, and I'm grateful for what you have to bring to the table because just a conversation, we just don't know who else is going to help, you know? And,
Hmm.
we can't take our ministry for granted or think that our ministry is only held within these four walls, you know? That's why I believe, like, even from the empowerment center perspective, I always say the church, well, we share the motto that the church has left the building. Listen, we had church last night. We had Bible study last night. Well, Tuesday, you know. Um, so we don't have to always have these conversations on the days that we fellowship because there are
Right.
some people who still choose not to fellowship. And we want
Hmm.
to make sure that we get information out to them, regardless whether they're a believer or not, if they're not a believer. Um,
That's it.
it doesn't matter. It does not matter. We want to reach all mankind. Would you agree?
I definitely agree.
All right. This has been fun,
Yes,
counselor.
yes, Apostle.
T, T with T. I like that. T with T.
Yeah.
All right. Until the next time, you have a good one. And don't forget, I need some snow when you come back to North Carolina. All right?
Got you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, you all. So there you have it. This was good. I really enjoy speaking with Counselor T. She's going to give it to you the way she sees fit, but it's also going to help you. It's going to help build you as an individual. So stay tuned as we continue to take this journey through Sister Act to reach out to one another, and we're going to be doing a lot. So we want to keep you informed. We want you to participate. Again, you can leave some comments. If you got any questions, just let us know how we can help answer. However you want to do it. If you want to do it anonymously, that's fine. If you want to just, hey, this is me, this is Joanne, or this is Sister Sue, this is what I need to know because I want to be healthy. And we want you to what? Be healthy. All right. So until the next time, you all be blessed, be great, and may heaven smile upon you. I'm Apostle Katanya Barnett from Kingdom Living Ministries in Gastonia, North Carolina.